Hey everyone, welcome to the Nashville Networking Business Luncheon. We do these all over Middle Tennessee 5 times a month in person, as well as every Tuesday right here live on Zoom. So we always have a 10-minute speaker who talks to us about different tips, tricks, ideas, things that can help us both in our personal as well as our business life to help get us to that next level. After that, we go around the room. Everybody has 1 minute to give us your name, what you do for a living, and how we can better refer other people to you. And then we exchange business cards in person, in real life, and then on Zoom here virtually. And then that's the end of our recorded portion. And then we go through and have some personal networking and things to help each other grow in our businesses. So right now, I'm going to turn it over to our speaker, Miss Takisha Bromell.
Thank you, Lori. Hi, everyone. Super excited to be here yet again. So I love coming to these and talking and sharing some things that's going on in my business. Again, I'm Takisha Bromell, and I own a business called Girl Friday Business Solutions. I started the business about 2.5 years ago. And let me tell you, entrepreneurship, business, there is and can be a struggle out there. And so hearing other things that people are going through and the details of their lives is very important as business owners as well as business people. We just have to do that. So I'm going to just go ahead and just dive right on in. What I've been doing and what I've been thinking about in my business is productivity. I am someone who likes to move and do a lot of stuff, but over the past, probably the past month or so, I've been on this kind of like this tear to really get healthy and all those kind of things. And I feel like, because I'm putting so much energy into those things and I've changed the way that I look at things a little bit differently. I find that because of that, I don't have as much energy as I used to have. Me exercising, the heat outside, it's so hot outside. And I've just been like, and then also my eating habits have changed as well. So my body, I feel like it's just going through this like, whatever. So with that being said, I'm like, okay, when I do get to work, I have to make all of it count. It has to count. It has to be very productive. And I'm starting to look at things that I'm doing in my business. Does it make sense? Should I be doing these things? What should I be doing? I'm really, really looking at the productivity, the things that I do, the effectiveness of when I am working. Am I getting the job done? Am I really working through those things? And so that's what I want to talk about today is about productivity and the things you can do, and then the things, should you really be doing it? I think that's really important when you're talking about business, because what happens is we for a number of different reasons, we choose to do whatever we want to do for different reasons. Sometimes we choose not to hire an assistant because we feel like we don't have the money to do that. But is it really, when you think about it and you think about the time that you spend doing it, does it really make sense for you to be the one that's actually doing it? Productivity, efficiency, and effectiveness is so important. And so sometimes you have to make hard decisions to get yourself out of the way of business actually evolving for you. And so that's what I want to talk about. So let's talk about it. Usually twice a year, and it's probably sometimes more than that, because I try to do it on a quarterly basis, but for sure it doesn't go past twice a year. And it makes me think about, during the time that spring happens and fall happens, I take a moment and I do it's called a productive outlook. I look at what my wins were, my accomplishments, what I've done well. I also take a moment to see the concerns that I have. It's similar to like a SWOT analysis, where you look at your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats, and you really like start to look at those things and say, okay, what did I do well? What were my wins? What am I excited about? What were my accomplishments, right? And then you start looking at your weaknesses, the things that that are things that you need to really look at. Like, okay, right now I don't have as much energy as I used to have. I don't have as much time because, you know, in the afternoons, instead of exercising, I was working all the time. But now that I've put myself, instead of putting myself on the back burner, I brought myself forward. Now I have a whole new life in that. And so I don't have as much energy. So when I get back home from exercising, I am not about to get back on my computer again. So now that I have this smaller window of time, how do I make it more effective? And is that a weakness for me? It definitely can be a weakness, and it can definitely be a threat, because now I have to start thinking about what am I going to put in place with that time. On the other side, it could be an opportunity, because now, because I'm not so focused on the business, I believe that when you kind of let go just a tad, what will happen is you will start to breathe, like your mind starts to move again, and you start the process of rethinking your business, what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing. So it's a good thing that I'm not working as much, because I get to then use that brain power to rethink my business and what I'm doing. But the question I have for you is, are you rethinking your business? Are you taking the time to stop for just a moment and say, okay, this worked. This did not work. It's time for me to let it go. It's time for me to let that move on, and to be at peace with letting some things go. So, like I said, I do a productive outlook. And so what I'm looking for is the rate of production, my effectiveness as I produce. Is it producing anything? And if it's not, then it's time for me to let go. When you think about that, what I call that is, I call it, in the fall, going into the fall, I call it that I'm winterizing my business. I'm starting to look at what's going to happen and project into my future, what's happening. It reminds me of when, you know, I'm divorced now, but it reminds me of when I was married. I would take the time right before the fall and start looking at, okay, do we need to buy any clothes? Do we need to, you know, when you think about if you have children or family or whatever, even yourself, you're thinking about what do you need in order to get through the next 6 months of winter, or whatever that looks like. You know, are you ready for that? And so that's what I've been doing in my business. I encourage you to do that in your business, and that is looking to see and making sure that you have the things in place to do that. Well, whenever that usually happens, when you winterize anything, you're cleaning your furnace. You're getting you're cutting down you're cutting your trees. You're starting to kind of get your property ready. You know, when you're thinking about it from a home perspective. Well, from this perspective, in what we're doing here, you're going to start in your business to start doing the same things. Like, you need to declutter. You need to kind of like move things around and get ready for that. So, you know, there are a couple of systems, or a couple of things, business systems, I think you need to work on or look at when you're starting to winterize, declutter, work through your productivity. Number one system is your brain. Okay. We have 1,000 things going on at one time, and your brain is an intricate system. If you're like me, I am an INTJ, and so I am an introvert. I overthink everything. And so I have to take a moment to start thinking, to get things on paper, to also get in front of people that don't think exactly like me. And so that could be your mentor, getting in front of them and saying, okay, these are some of my thoughts. Here's where I'm going. Here's my projection for the next few months. Is there anything that you see and that I need to change or make changes in? Like, you know, that's, to me, that's one thing. Number two is, when you're decluttering and you're working on your efficiency, is your calendar, right? The next system, once your brain is clear, the next system to me is your calendar. Like, okay, is that meeting that I'm having with this person the most effective meeting I should be having? Should I really rethink the people that are on my schedule? are those people that are on my calendar and in my schedule, are they people that are going to connect? Are they connectors? Are they going to connect me to other people? Do they know the right people in order to connect me to? Like, really, should I be meeting with them? And so that is a difficult thing if you are a extrovert. You know, for me, I'm an introvert. So, and then with the pandemic and all that kind of stuff, like if you get to sit in front of me, that means that that means that I really care, because I'm really very focused in on who is sitting in front of me going at this point, especially with this pandemic going. So I was with a friend, Carrie Jeffries, yes, last week, and I'm like, and I know she was on here last week, and I had a meeting with her, and I was like, okay, only a few people get to see me, Carrie, so you have to be very important to see me. I was super excited to see her and be in front of her. I was happy about that. But clean your schedule, look at your schedule, declutter it, and really think through revenue generation. Really is what I'm at the point, is what I'm really getting to. Revenue generating meetings is who you need to be in front of. And those people should be your COI, your centers of influence, the people that love you, sing your song, talk about you. They will share who you are to other people. You know, the other person or group of people that you need to be in front of is your current clients, making sure that they're happy with the services that you're providing for them, and also that they will give you referrals. You know, the third group of people that you need to be in front of when you're talking about it is your prospects. You know what I'm saying? Like staying in front of them, staying connected to them, giving them your best, the opportunity to know you better so that you can move forward. So your brain, clear your calendar. When was the last time you cleaned up your marketing? When was the last time you looked at your marketing and what you're providing out there through your social media and your the information that you're connecting to other people? When was the last time you looked at it or had other people look at it and say, your website is out of date? The information from your website, and these are things that I'm doing right now. The information from my website to the information that I post on social media do not click anymore. They're not connected. I am singing a new song. I'm developing more information out there, and my website has to go with me. So now I'm working on my website. I am working on my social media. I'm working on all the documents and information that I pass out, that it all has a singular look and a singular feel. Are you doing that? And when was the last time that you did that? Okay, how about your inbox? Do you have like 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 emails like me in your inbox? As good as I am at organizing other people, yes, Laura, yes. Okay, as good as I am at organizing other people, me organizing myself is a mess. Do you hear me? Like, okay, so about a year and a half ago, I had an assistant who went through my emails and cleaned out my inbox and just cleaned it out, got it, like, cleaned out all of the old stuff, put them into like files and all that kind of stuff, and just got them kind of like organized. Do you think that it's still organized today? It is not still organized today. It is a work in progress. But as I'm thinking through what is going to be my benefit going into the fall and winter with everything that we have going on, those things are very important to me. So I'm just gonna bring it all in as I finish. Productivity and efficiency and effectiveness and doing things in less time is your best friend. It is our best friend as someone who is now starting to really develop and work on her time. The time that I work has to be the most significant, because what I realize is that I'm not giving my business as much time as I used to. And because I'm not giving my business as much time as I used to, because I am choose me, you know, which is an awesome thing. Once that happened, I needed to pivot. I needed to make sure that whenever I'm working, that it's getting the best out of me, which means that I needed to pass on some of my other projects and some of the other things to other team members and things like that. I couldn't do all those things myself anymore. So you need to do a SWOT analysis. Make sure you know what your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, your threats. Do a productive outlook. Look at what you're excited about, what your accomplishments are. Pat yourself on the back, but then say, okay, here are the things I need to focus on going into the fall and winter. You want to also make sure that you clear your brain, that you do your brain dump, that you categorize and you prioritize and you strategize what you should be doing, which should be revenue generation. You should be focused on your clients, your prospects, your content, all of that, and then hire someone to do the rest. And you can hire Girl Friday if you want to. And then also make sure that you clean your calendar, you work through your marketing, everything looks together, and that you work on your inbox in your workspace and you get ready because in the fall and in the winter, you really should be connected because you're going to be inside more than ever. You need to make sure that you have a plan of attack and strategy connected to what you're doing so that you will be productive in the fall and winter. Because what happens after fall and winter? Spring comes and all the seeds, all of the things that you've planted now will grow if you do it in the right way. Thank you.
Awesome. Perfect. Thank you so much, Takisha.
You're welcome.
And if you are listening to us live on the internet, please join us every Tuesday, 11:30 to 12:30 right here on Zoom. This is the end of our recorded portion. And if you are meeting back in person, we are doing those 5 times a month all over Middle Tennessee. So please see our schedule at NashvilleNetworkingBusinessLuncheon.com. Thank you, everyone.